question that's come in is, you're a Christian couple, the doctor that you're meeting with now, this is 21st century, they're saying, we have all this technology, it's responsible parenting to do screening. And first of all, you got to understand, whenever somebody on the outside talks to you about responsible parenting, you should ask the old Lutheran question, what does this mean? Because they are defining responsible parenting. You always remember that life already begins at conception. Psalm 51:5, sinful from birth, sinful from the time my mother conceived me. Responsible parenting from a Christian perspective recognizes that the moment life exists in the womb, you have life. You don't have almost life or potential life or a promising life. You have human life. Regardless of its quality, regardless of any malady it might be carrying, in God's eyes, it was worthy of Jesus dying for it. So you remember that. Now, by the way, even though it's the 21st century, I've been dealing with this question for over 40 years. There was even when I was, in my late teens, early 20s, you could have certain screenings done already in a pregnancy just to test to see how it would go, how the unborn child is doing. The question really isn't, should I be doing this? But the question is, why am I doing this? If you are looking to search and destroy, which is what we call it, where, there's a malady, there's a high potential that the unborn child has a malady, a problem, we're going to abort the child, that's not an option. God's children don't, take the lives of God's children. That's not an option. But is it responsible parenting to say, well, we have a family history of certain maladies or certain problems in the family. It would be good to know so that we can prepare. Well, then it's not a bad thing. Just remember this too. Some of the early testing can be hazardous to an unborn child. So you want to make sure you understand that. But it has to do with where your heart is. Are you looking to prepare for a child no matter what comes? Or are you looking for search and destroy? If it's search and destroy, don't bother. It's not responsible stewardship. And also, just understand, you don't have to do this. If God gives you a child with a challenge, rejoice, because God has given you this challenge for a greater purpose where He says, I'm going to work it all out for the good of those who love me. So don't feel like somehow God has surrendered all involvement in your pregnancy and it's now up to you to make all the right decisions. It doesn't work that way. Stewardship isn't covering every possible angle. Stewardship is making a judgment as to how I can do best in this circumstance.